Yo, what's going on guys, it's Cynical and welcome back to another Kingdom Hearts 3 news and information video. Today for you guys, I thought we'd sit down and talk about my own personal predicted world order list for Kingdom Hearts 3, the order in which worlds we'll be going to within a specific sequence. Now we don't really know too much about the world order in Kingdom Hearts 3 really at all, and that's pretty much for good reason. We probably won't find out which worlds we'll be going to in which order until we actually play the game for ourselves. We also don't know all of the worlds that are going to be in Kingdom Hearts 3 as of right now as well, although for the most part we certainly do know the majority, and over the next coming months we will be getting more world announcements. I thought it would be cool to come up with a mock-up world order list for the game before we start getting even more news and information for KH3. So the image that you guys are seeing on screen as of right now is my own Kingdom Hearts 3 world order list that I put together in Photoshop, and I'm going to quickly explain this picture because it might look a little bit confusing for some of you guys. So the start of the world order starts at the Land of Departure, where we can see obviously the Land of Departure world icon with Ericus sort of floating above that. Now whenever there's a character in the background behind the world icon, that means that in that world you actually get to play as that character. In this list total we have a sequence where we get to play as Ericus, and then down below we also have a sequence where in both the Dark World and Destiny Islands we get to play as Riku. And in the ways of the red and blue line, the red line indicates that once we finish up Kingdom of Corona, Arendelle, Atlantis, we then take that red line back to Radiant Garden, more story progression will happen, and we then progress into the last set of Disney Worlds. The blue line indicates that once we've finally finished the last set of Disney Worlds, we then go back to Twilight Town, more story progression happens, and eventually make our way into the Riku segments and then towards the end of the game. So hopefully that's kind of explains the layout, that way you guys have a gist as to exactly how this kind of works. So let's talk about the very first world, the Land of Departure. Now we've talked about this many times in the past, but we already know that the cinematic where young Ericus as well as young Xehanort are talking about the Lost Masters is going to be the opening cinematic for Kingdom Hearts 3. Now we don't actually know if there's going to be some kind of gameplay scenario attached onto this, but personally I really hope there is going to be. I would love a situation where we actually get to learn sort of the basics of the game in the ways of the basics towards combat, movement, blocking, countering, etc. Even though we do know that Twilight Town will serve as the tutorial world, I'm hoping that we can at least get a gameplay scenario in the Land of Departure where we learn at least the basics playing as young Ericus. We then move on to Twilight Town, which would then begin Sora's story for Kingdom Hearts 3. We already know that Twilight Town is going to be the tutorial for Kingdom Hearts 3, so I would say in this situation we'll most likely be learning stuff like the parkour, attraction flow rides, situation commands, magic, etc. Although it's interesting because we're not too sure if we'll end up learning the specific Kingdom Hearts 3 abilities like attraction flow, Keyblade transformations, or parkour until we actually get to the Olympus Coliseum, in which we know the purpose behind Sora, Donald, and Goofy going there is for Sora to actually regain his powers, the powers he lost throughout Dream Drop Distance. However, we do know that Twilight Town is going to be the tutorial for Kingdom Hearts 3, so one way or another this is going to be one of the first worlds we go to. I've also put the Mysterious Tower just below Twilight Town because as we know in Kingdom Hearts 2, the Mysterious Tower wasn't its own individual world, it was actually attached on to Twilight Town, so I would say for Kingdom Hearts 3, it's probably going to be a similar setup, where the Mysterious Tower is actually attached to the world of Twilight Town. The next world we go to is the Olympus Coliseum. We know that this will most likely end up being the second or third world we go to in Kingdom Hearts 3, as we see that at the end of 0.2 Birth by Sleep, that's exactly where Sora, Donald, and Goofy are heading to. But we already do know that Twilight Town is going to be the tutorial, so it's likely that Sora, Donald, and Goofy either make a stop to Twilight Town before they go to Olympus Coliseum, or the Twilight Town tutorial actually takes place before the conversation between Sora, Donald, Goofy, and Yen Sid. Now after the Olympus Coliseum, we'll likely be heading to both Toy Box as well as Monstropolis, the Toy Story and Monsters Inc. world. Now within a Famitsu interview at the start of this year, back in February, Tetsuya Nomura actually mentioned that both Toy Story and Monsters Inc. are in the first round of worlds alongside Olympus. So this obviously tells us that Olympus, Toy Story, and Monsters Inc. are going to be the very first set of Disney worlds we visit. Now Olympus Atlantis we'll have to probably do mandatory anyway, so that'll be the first Disney World, but in terms of Toy Box and Monstropolis, which will obviously be afterwards, I would say we'll most likely get to choose what one we get to visit, similar to that of Kingdom Hearts 1 and 2. After we finish up both Toy Box and Monstropolis, I believe we'll then head over to Radiant Garden, which, like Kingdom Hearts 2, will be Kingdom Hearts 3's main hub world. I'm really crossing my fingers that Radiant Garden returns. It's likely that it will, mainly because we already see Ienzo in Radiant Garden within the castle, obviously making communication with Sora in terms of trying to bring back Roxas. So I'd say that Radiant Garden will work like it did in Kingdom Hearts 2, where we frequently revisit the world for story progression. Now I also have the 100 Acre Wood attached onto this world because, as we know, the 100 Acre Wood can be accessed through Radiant Garden. Similar to Kingdom Hearts 2, I believe that Merlin will be returning and that the book will be accessible via Merlin's house. Once we've finished up Radiant Garden and probably something to do with the 100 Acre Wood, I believe we will then move on to our second set of Disney Worlds for Kingdom Hearts 3. Now what I have right here is Kingdom of Corona, Arendelle, as well as Atlantis. Now we already know that Kingdom of Corona, which is the Tangled world, alongside Arendelle, which is the Frozen world, are two confirmed worlds for the game, so these are already locked in. In the ways of Atlantis, this is me just being hopeful, but I would absolutely love to see a hidden gem like Atlantis make its way into Kingdom Hearts 3. In this placement, I would prefer to say Treasure Planet, mainly because I absolutely love Treasure Planet and it's my most wanted world, but seeing as Pirates of the Caribbean is already going to be in the game, I don't think that Square Enix will settle for two pirate-themed worlds. Even though Treasure Planet is more of a futuristic pirate theme with it being set in space, I just can't see it happening. So in place of that, I personally believe like Atlantis would be another really good option, mainly because its environments and world space is extremely unique. It is very water-based, but then again, it's got a lot of like temple architecture throughout it. It's based in like an underground city. Like there's no other world that would come close to being similar to that of Atlantis. Also within that news that Tetsunuma was talking about at the start of this year, he did mention that Tangled is in the middle round of worlds, so one way or another we will be visiting Kingdom of Corona during the middle set of the Disney Worlds for Kingdom Hearts 3, so hence the reason I put it in here. Once we've finished up the second set of Disney Worlds, I then believe we'll make our way back to Radiant Garden, and this will kind of act as the halfway point of the game itself. If you guys remember back to Kingdom Hearts 2, once we finished all of the first visits for all of the worlds, we then made our way back to Hollow Bastion / Radiant Garden. That scenario certainly marks the halfway point in Kingdom Hearts 2, so I kind of feel like we might have a similar setup in Kingdom Hearts 3, where once we finish the second set of Disney Worlds, we'll then make our way back to Radiant Garden, some more story progression will happen, and then we go to the third set of Disney Worlds. Now we already know that there are no second visits in Kingdom Hearts 3, so basically it works the same way as it worked in Kingdom Hearts 1, where there is simply only one visit per world. Once we're finished up at Radiant Garden, I then believe we'll make our way to the third set of Disney Worlds, and when looking at the third set of Disney Worlds, I personally believe that it will consist of the Pirates of the Caribbean, which we already know is most likely going to be one of the later worlds in Kingdom Hearts 3, just judging by the health bar for the boss that we see in the trailer. Big Hero 6, which I personally believe is going to be one of the later worlds, alongside Wild Jungle, which would be the Jungle Book. Now, similar to the Kingdom of Corona, as well as Arendelle, the Caribbean, as well as Big Hero 6, these worlds are already locked in for Kingdom Hearts 3. In the ways of Jungle Book, though, that is currently not confirmed, however, that is a world that I am predicting to be in the game. The only reason why I say that is Jungle Book has been attempted to be in Kingdom Hearts so many times in the past, so there's a lot of reference they could use from previous work to implement it into KH3. Not only that, but it's one of the classic Disney films that so far haven't actually made its way into Kingdom Hearts as an actual world, and personally I believe it would work really well. So I kind of feel as if the Jungle Book will likely be one of the final worlds that we end up going to if it does make its way into the game. Once we've finished up the final set of Disney Worlds, I then feel as if we'll make our way back to Twilight Town, and this is where all of the stuff between Xemnas, Ansem, and Sora will start to begin. We've seen a lot of taunting from Xemnas and Ansem towards Sora when talking about Roxas throughout many of the different Kingdom Hearts 3 trailers, and I feel as if those scenarios kind of take place towards the end of Kingdom Hearts 3. Now, on my world order list, you guys will notice that there is another Twilight Town world icon above the normal one. That I put there because I believe we'll most likely end up going to the Data Twilight Town, the Twilight Town that we actually got to explore at the very beginning of Kingdom Hearts 2 as Roxas. There's a lot of talk about Roxas throughout the Kingdom Hearts 3 trailers so far, like I mentioned, and we already know that he's going to be playing a very, very important role in Kingdom Hearts 3. Nomura has said that he is apparently top secret. We already know that as of right now there are talks about collecting Roxas's data and putting that data into a physical body. It sounds as if we're almost building Roxas in Kingdom Hearts 3 to bring him back. During the small conversation we see of Ienzo and Sora talking within the Kingdom Hearts 3 showcase trailer, Ienzo mentions to Sora that in order for the virtual world to be completely realized, Ants and the Wise would have had to have included Roxas's data into the construction. Now I don't exactly know what this means, but it kind of tells me that in order to recollect Roxas's data, we might actually have to go to the digital Twilight Town to actually recover it. Shortly after all of that, we then make our way down into the Dark World and begin what I believe to be the Riku section of Kingdom Hearts 3, where we actually get to play as Riku. Now this is only temporary, and for me, I'm predicting that it'll only take place over the course of 2 worlds. And when I say 2 worlds, I don't really mean worlds to the same extent or size as the worlds you would go through as Sora. I feel as if the Riku section would be a lot more linear compared to the worlds we would normally be exploring as Sora. So I predict that we will be playing as Riku within the Dark World. We already know that there is a scenario where basically Riku bumps into Aqua, or more so a knotted Aqua, and I feel as if that is certainly going to be a boss fight in the game. As much as I don't want to have to do it, I feel as if this is definitely going to be a boss scenario. Shortly after the Dark World events, we then make our way to Destiny Island. Now I kind of feel as if the Destiny Island scenario could happen either before or after the Dark World scenario, but either way, Destiny Island, we already saw a cutscene of Riku talking to Repliku on the beach of Destiny Islands within the Pirates of the Caribbean trailer, which everyone lost their minds over. Now this could just be a cutscene, but I think the reason why I put Destiny Islands within the actual world order is because I would really love to be able to explore this world just one last time. And especially within the Unreal Engine 4 alongside the Kingdom shader, Destiny Islands is just going to look absolutely beautiful. So please, Square Enix, allow me to explore it in Kingdom Hearts 3. Once we've completed the Riku section, we then move back to Sora, and Sora has now made his way to Castle Oblivion / the Land of Departure, seeing as both of these worlds are essentially the same. At some point throughout Kingdom Hearts 3, Ventus has surely got to be saved from his coma, and I believe the only way in order to actually do that is for Sora to physically be there with Ventus in order to transfer that piece of Ventus's heart that resides within Sora back into Ventus so that he can wake up. Now, after the Riku section, I think it's safe to say that likely Aqua will be saved. Well, that's kind of the hope. You see, she's the only one that actually knows the whereabouts of Ventus's location. Now, the Master Keeper, which is Master Ericus's Keyblade, was used by Aqua in order to seal away the Land of Departure to turn it into Castle Oblivion. It is also the Keyblade that is required to access the Room of Waking, the very room in which Ventus resides in. Now, during the Aquanaut scene that we saw in one of the most recent trailers, we didn't actually see Aqua using the Master Keeper. In fact, she's holding a completely different Keyblade, one that looks very similar to a Kingdom Key. It's likely that at some point Aqua ended up losing the Master Keeper, but this very subject might actually remind you of a scene that we saw for Kingdom Hearts 3 many years ago. In fact, one of the very first scenes we ever saw for the game. If we go all the way back to the very first Kingdom Hearts 3 announcement trailer, we saw a cutscene where Sora is on the beach of Destiny Islands and picks up the Master Keeper from the shore. I think it is possible that at some point while Aqua spent her time in the Realm of Darkness, she ended up sending the Master Keeper away in the hope that someone would end up finding it. So I would say at some point throughout Kingdom Hearts 3, likely towards the end of the game, Sora will probably make his way to Destiny Islands and find the Master Keeper. Of course, in the cutscene itself, we see Sora in his Kingdom Hearts 2 attire, but I would say at this point, the Kingdom Hearts 3 attire probably wasn't planned, and this will be the very way in which we're able to access the Room of Waking in order to save Ventus in Castle Oblivion without actually needing Aqua. I think the only real issue is actually locating the room itself, but that might be something that the Master Keeper can actually do for us. Once we've finished up at Castle Oblivion, we then move on to the final segment of the game, and that is the Keyblade Graveyard / Sacred Moon. So we're likely to be returning back to the Keyblade graveyard. This is the fated place, and this is likely to be the place in which we will end up fighting the 13 Seekers of Darkness. However, we do know that there is going to be a brand new location or brand new original world that is going to be in Kingdom Hearts 3, and apparently it is simply incredible. This is going to be a part of the very final stage, in which I'm led to believe that this could potentially be Kingdom Hearts in itself. We might actually be going to the heart-shaped moon, boys. So yeah, I put Sacred Moon right down there at the end, because I do feel as if Kingdom Hearts is going to be the very final stage for Kingdom Hearts 3. But however, guys, that is it. That is my predicted world order list for Kingdom Hearts 3. I'm sure the game is not going to go like this, but I'm for sure going to be interested to see how close I got when we know the official world order. In the comment section down below, guys, let me know what your predicted world order is going to be for Kingdom Hearts 3, and let me know how well did I do. However, guys, with all that being said, I'm Cynical. Hopefully you're having a fantastic day, and until next time, I'll catch you guys later. Peace.
Hit them on the page, you'll be coming through stunning. Gold in my mouth when you suckers be bluffing. Milk crate, gaming up your bitch though. Catch me in the back playing Super Nintendo.